and welcome to Nerd Talk. I'm Mike. This is Kurt.
I'm Kurt.
And it's good.
It's our second episode.
Yeah.
This time it's actually scheduled, so I'm glad. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah.
How you been doing?
Good. How about you?
All right.
Yeah.
Anything you've been working on?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to get the synth. I was hoping that we could get this my synthesizer. Here, I'll kind of show it here. But it's just a little breadboard kind of synth. But it, unfortunately, I think it may have gotten caught in the rain. So, but basically, it's just a little 555 timing chip, and use a little potentiometer to change the sound. But unfortunately, it's not running. It's just a little simple synth. I've been working on this because, like people who build their own guitars or violins and things like that, since I do electronic music, I wanted to kind of do a little bit more in building things. So that's kind of how I've been doing things. That's what I've been doing. How about you?
So I didn't bring it, but I am working on a new puppet. Most of the puppets I make are foam and cloth. This one that I'm working on, I'm doing with wood, metal, and plastic.
Oh, cool.
I want it to entirely be more mechanical.
Yeah.
Kind of like a wooden robot, sort of, almost. But plastic's easier and lighter to use. But yeah, when we have a more firm shape of it, then I'll bring it by.
Cool. Sounds good. So we're gonna talk about a little bit of nerd news here, and I guess there's some interesting stories. So there was a couple that you had dug up, and one that we had both found.
Do you want to start with that one?
With the one we both found?
Yeah.
Sure.
So the Dutch police are training eagles to take down unauthorized drones. They're the little drones with cameras on them. They're actually training them to come out of the sky and scoop them up and take them out. Do we have the video on that by any chance, or?
Yeah. So.
Let them know we do. Give them a nod. We're gonna go through it.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
cool.
we can hear you, Mad. So okay, we're gonna go ahead with that.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It just comes right in, and they're like bald eagles.
Wow.
It's like a immature bald eagle. I think it.
Oh, I was kind of picturing like Sam from the Muppets. Put that down. But that's pretty cool. That's really neat. That's even better than having a shotgun.
That would be an easier way of taking them down. Yeah.
True, but this way you can recover the data to find out what they've been looking at.
True. Yeah. Or you get a free drone if you need extra drones.
Yeah, that's true.
But I found out also that they're not the only people who are doing stuff to stop unauthorized drones. The Japanese are sending other drones after unauthorized drones with nets attached to them.
Oh, okay. So it's not little tiny machine guns or anything.
Yeah, no, nets. That would be cooler, though. Not that I want
Lasers.
Drones shooting things. Maybe you can put an airsoft on a drone to take
You
out
could,
other drones. Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody get their eye out.
And the British are actually making a drone death ray, which will disrupt their radio signals, and it just disables the drone.
Huh. So just kind of like a almost electronic pulse gun kind of thing.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of details on it, but I imagine it's got to be something like that, or with radio interference.
Interesting.
I don't think they're setting off little EMF pulses. That would be a little
damaging.
overkill.
Little tiny thermonuclear explosions. So, well, that's pretty cool. That's the drones. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about people with drones. I've been thinking about what to do if suddenly I find one peering in my window.
My friend in New Mexico actually had one hovering over her house for 20 minutes, and she called the police, and they're like, I don't know what to do, because it's New Mexico. I guess. They didn't know what to do about that. Yeah. And then it went away.
Huh.
20 minutes is a long time for a drone, so maybe she was exaggerating a little bit on that.
Yeah,
Or maybe
maybe.
I'm misremembering her story, but still.
Yeah. I mean, was she like sunbathing in the back or something? Or is it just like kind of?
No, it's snowing down there, so yeah, no, she was just up there.
Oh.
She should have flashed it.
Made it worth her while. Yeah, I found something really interesting. This is kind of a nerd thing, but it's also I try not to stray into political stuff. But the other nerd thing I found was how much data Uber is collecting on their drivers when they're not paying their drivers.
Oh wow!
So what they're
Yeah.
doing is they're because the data is obviously very valuable to them. So what they've been doing is collecting all this data for how long it takes them to come to drop somebody off and come back. But they're doing it. They're also collecting the data while they're not paying the drivers. So while they have their app turned on.
Wow.
Which is really something that we kind of need to think about in the future is how we are going to deal with the data collection. Obviously, Facebook gives you a free service for in exchange for your data, because that really it comes down to that data is the new currency. So I found that really interesting that Uber is kind of trying to grab some stuff for free.
What data are they grabbing? Just
How busy somebody is, but how long it takes to get through, and all the traffic conditions and things like that. But they're also doing it based on how long it's taking drivers to get back and forth, so they can kind of average it out. I think what they're trying to do is create their own algorithms. I mean, eventually they're going to have driverless cars. That's really their goal there. So, so that's how that goes out. So, anyway, movies.
Movies.
We want to talk about movies?
Do we want to go into
Did you have another news story?
I had some minor things, but
Oh, okay.
Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, let's see if we get
on a
movies.
really nerdy front, Doctor Who fans, Stephen Moffat is definitely stepping down after the season 10, the next season, which is airing in 2017.
Oh, wow.
There was a rumor going around that Peter Capaldi may or may not be stepping down. When he steps down, he probably is, but now they're coming back on that and not saying whether it's definite or not. The new showrunner will be Chris Chibnall. I don't know his work, but he's been working on Broadchurch. He's the creator of Broadchurch.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I've seen that show up on Netflix, but I haven't had a chance to watch it.
I haven't seen it, but a friend of mine really loves it. So I think it's probably
Cool.
a good.
I think it's kind of good. I mean, I think it's time for Moffat to move on.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But the last two seasons have been a lot better than.
Yeah, but it just has to do with fresh blood too. That kind of happens. I think getting in some from fresh blood will happen, but help even improve it further. So movies.
Let's talk movies.
Yeah. So have you seen the new Star Wars?
4 times.
4 times. I have seen it once.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. Would you get knocked out and just stay in the theater, or couldn't move, stuck to your seat?
Well, different people wanted to see it with me, and so it's kind of like, sure, I'll see it again. And I have to admit, it was fun every time.
Oh, well, that's good. I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it could have been done much better. I usually have low expectations of J.J. Abrams. Not that he doesn't have high expectations for himself, and I have to say that I appreciate when somebody aims high and kind of misses, or if he has somebody like, what's his name from the guy who does all the explosions,
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay, who aims low and hits it every time.
Yeah.
So
One, I got the video up. Can you zoom in on him and check the focus?
so it was. I thought it was good. It was better than I expected, but not as good as I hoped. I think it's a good way to describe it.
Okay. Yeah, it was. I was just so thankful that it wasn't like the prequels. I need to take these off.
Okay.
It wasn't like the prequels.
I agree. Although I felt like they did too much of the original series.
It was very much like the original series.
And we're not going to give away any spoilers. Although I kind of felt like you could kind of see certain things coming a mile away.
There were parallels. There were definitely parallels.
Mm-hmm.
There were some surprising moments. I really like the new cast. I really liked seeing the old cast.
Yeah. I thought that the new cast did a really good job. But it's tough because we can't give away any spoilers.
Right. You can't talk about anyone getting frozen in carbonite or anything like that.
Yes.
Oh well.
So,
if you haven't seen it yet, you should get out there and see it on the big screen. And one spoiler: it is completely Jar Jar free.
well, that's not a spoiler. I wouldn't say mentioning that
Well,
Jar Jar is in it spoils the movie.
I mean, that's if anyone was concerned about that. Yeah.
So speaking of movies,
Yes.
we have a special guest, Lisa Cavalier, who just came back from B-Fest, which is an event that happens at Northwestern University. Lisa, why don't you tell us exactly what B-Fest is?
All right. As you mentioned, it's an event that takes place at Northwestern University in lovely Evanston, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. It happens the third weekend of January, or rather the third Saturday of January. And what it is, it's 24 hours where you are in the auditorium watching nothing but the finest in B movies. Some are picked, but other films are sponsored by individuals, or for example this year one film, Kansas City Bombers, starring Raquel Welch, was sponsored by a small little indie game company.
That's the roller derby movie, isn't it?
That is.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, and there's a opening sequence with Raquel Welch on skates, just kind of shoving other women. It's kind of awesome.
That's fantastic. So did you? So I know there's like some kind of traditions there.
Yes. At midnight on the dot, the Ed Wood film Plan 9 from Outer Space is shown.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, or many of the attendees, in addition to riffing the movies MST3K or riff track style throughout the festival, they bring paper plates. Sometimes they draw little slogans or photos or artwork. Sometimes they're collected by other attendees. But during the spaceship sequences, which, if you're familiar with the movie, they very much look like they've been made out of tinfoil, plastic plates, and whatever Wood and crew happen to have lying about. They just toss them at the screen.
Yeah, I remember. I remember there. I actually attended with Lisa back in 2008.
2008.
Yeah, and she said when you see a spaceship, just look up. And I looked up, and literally it was well, there's the movie right now. There we go.
Yep.
But I looked up, and it was literally I couldn't see the ceiling. There were so many paper plates. And the best part is people were doing things like, I picked one up and it was like people had written messages on there like, stop farting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a typical convention, and con-funk does happen.
Yes.
I mean, you're in an auditorium for 24 hours, and whenever you nap, you're either in the aisles, on the stage, or you slip out and go into like a student center where there are couches. Mm-hmm. And maybe you nap for a few hours, but you don't bathe.
Yes, that's kind of tough. So
and you fart.
Yes. So what were some of your favorite? What was your favorite this year? Did you have a favorite movie?
I sure did. And Kansas City Bomber did not win the prize, and it would have to be the Tippi Hedren movie Roar. And that was a documentary-ish type of film where a man, collects these giant cats, lions, cheetahs, panthers, and they all lived together in a big house in the African jungles. His family, not knowing just who he was cohabitating with, comes over to join him. He happens to be gone. There are poachers and hunters about trying to catch these, supposedly dangerous animals. And this family walks into the house, not knowing who was living there.
Oh.
Hilarity and some mild pawing ensue.
It sounds like a date from high school.
Well, date from college, or, unfortunately for the two people sitting next to me, just me sitting there squeeing over the kitties. And it's funny because the cats.
It showed some of the.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And, the cats behave like house cats, only much, much larger.
Oh.
With bigger paws.
So.
Yes, they're adorable.
This is a drama, not a documentary.
Well, drama. It's a documentary-ish drama.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And and Tippi Tippi Hedren was in The Birds.
Yes.
Yes.
Now she's in the kitties.
Now she's in the kitties. Yes.
She's also in a movie made by the guy who made Birdemic.
Oh, really?
I can't remember what the other movie she was in.
I know she had a tough time because there's a rumor that she was Alfred Hitchcock propositioned her and she turned him down, and he kind of smeared her name a little bit in Hollywood, and she had a tough time finding good roles. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. But what was did you have a least favorite that you really wish you hadn't seen?
Blood Mania.
Blood Mania.
It's this European, I guess it was supposed to be a horror movie, but then it tried to be film noir. It tried to be softcore porn, but in reality, it was just slow, sluggish, with poor dialogue, and it just felt me with this horrible sense of shame and dread because the realization, now mind you, this was the film shown at 5 o'clock Saturday morning, and I'm a little hungry, I'm low on caffeine, and then it hit me. I think I have this movie somewhere.
Oh, good Lord.
As part of like the Euro horror compilation discs you get for $1 at Big Lots or something.
Well, I remember when I went with you, the movie I should have taken this as a thing, because this is the movie that everybody decided to take a nap on, was the other one was Zardos.
Oh.
Well, here's some clips from Blood Mania, it looks like, but
you may want to be careful with that.
Yeah.
Well, it's
careful.
Yeah.
So the other one was Zardos, which might actually be even more frightening because it's got what's his name from Sean Connery dressed in a bandolier in a bikini brief.
It's like Prince crossed with Machete from Grindhouse.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. So I sat up and wasted 4 hours of sleep. Instead of getting sleep, I watched this film, and it was just horrendous. It was awful, which is there. And also there's the other cool thing. The other cool thing about this place is that there is a funeral home, and in the basement, it's like right up the street from, and it's kind of a tradition. Do you guys go there?
Well, we go whenever we can.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, when our friends meet up together, and these are people from all over the United States, Michigan, Wisconsin. 2 friends come from Baltimore, Maryland, Maine, Iowa. I and one other came from Connecticut originally, and but one of the things we do when we all meet up is we try to explore some of the strange and wonderful parts of Chicago and the surrounding areas. And what Mike was referring to was Algrim's Funeral Home, where they have the funeral home, but in the basement they have a lot of old school arcade games and a mini golf course.
And the mini golf course is nice and morbid.
Yes, it is.
Just like you would expect it to be.
Now, I know my son, when he hears about that, is totally gonna want to go there because he's into the old school games.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a old. When I was there, that was 2008. You know, that was still like that was 8 years ago. But it was they had Lunar Lander. They still.
As far as I know, yes. They also have the very first Super Mario Brothers game.
Oh wow.
Oh, the old. Oh yeah. The one. Yeah, the.
Yep.
The bricks. Yeah, that was a great game. So yeah. So while we have you here, we're going to play a game, and what we're going to do is, since you're in honor of B-Fest, we're gonna quiz you on Ed Wood,
Fair enough.
the famous B movie director.
Can I
And
chime in as well, seeing that you have the test and I?
Sure.
The
Yeah, we
side
can
of
we
the-
can both
Bit
do
about
this. You know.
Tommy was so.
Yeah. Let me pull
Speaking
up.
of Tommy Wiseau and the room, did you hear about? Is it called Dangerous Men?
I've heard of it, but I'm not too
Haven't-
familiar.
I haven't seen it. I've only seen the trailer. It's supposedly the action movie version of The Room.
Oh dear God.
The action.
One of the last things I've heard before I picked up co-star Greg Sestero's book, The Disaster Artist, which was his behind the scenes documentation of shooting The Room, as well as his own attempts to break into acting, from The Room to Retro Puppet Master and his various bit parts over the years. But I've also heard that Tommy Wiseau had wanted to direct a Fantastic Four sequel, and
Oh wow.
God, I wish this would happen. Please, Internet, make this happen.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know if I want to know about Tommy Wiseau's bit parts either. So.
Well, no.
So.
Oh God.
All right. So what we're going to do to make this extra nerdy, Lisa, you brought some gaming dice, right?
I certainly did.
Do you have more than 120 sided? Oh, I see you have the fuzzy dice.
Yes. All right. Would you like pink, blue? Oh my, what do I have in here?
So what we're going to do is instead I was going to have it based on the difficulty of the questions. But if you're going to play as well, what we'll do is we'll see who gets the higher number out of the two as you guys roll at the same time. So it'll be like rolling dice here.
Sure.
All right.
Want to try to do that? All right.
All right.
You want yellow or green?
Either way.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Can I roll it on the floor or over there?
Oh.
Yeah,
Do
I guess
it,
on the
or-
floor. Yeah, we should just all get up and.
Oh, good grief. It's going to turn into that kind of show.
Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. All right. So,
Oh.
okay. So all right. So let's see who's going to go first.
Okay.
Roll for initiative.
Yes.
2.
And critical. No, that's a 7.
Oh, well, okay. Still
Okay.
7. So you got a higher number.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna start with an easy one. Ed Wood, he liked to wear a particular type of sweater that he really enjoyed doing. Do you know what material he got his sweaters?
Mohair or cashmere? I'm going to go with mohair.
Oh, actually, it was Angora.
Angora.
Oh, so long nerd card.
That's okay.
So long knitter card.
So yeah, he liked to wear women's Angora sweaters, and he was very fond of them, and which led him to make his movie Glenn or Glenda. So let's roll again. Let's see what we get.
Okay. 7.
And 5.
Oh,
The dice
okay,
might
yeah.
be fired.
Uh-oh.
Okay. In the movie Plan 9 from Outer Space and several other movies, there is a famous Swedish wrestler that he had in
Tor
his-
Johnson?
Yes. Oh, that was too easy, wasn't it? Sorry.
Sorry, I know Ed Wood a little bit.
That's
A little bit.
that was a still Tor Johnson's great. I've got I should show you my comic book I have where they did some fan fiction with Tor Johnson that's just really bizarre.
Oh dear.
Do not Google Tor Johnson and Andre the Giant / don't do it.
Okay. All right.
All right, we
Good
can't
to
say
know.
anything more than that.
Oh, God.
So, all right, let's do this again. Let's do another roll.
Okay. 9.
Perception check says 4. Oh, dear.
Okay.
Oh dear.
All right. Well, he breathed life into the career of another famous actor, who.
Bela Lugosi.
Yes. See, I'm making this too easy, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So, who was? I'm going to ask Lisa one since you've gotten to.
Yeah.
Who was the in Plan 9 from Outer Space? Who was the female co-star to the aliens?
That would be Vampira?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She is fantastic. In Vampira is who.
Elvira.
Elvira,
Aspire.
Mistress of the Dark. She modeled her persona after that. Yeah. So this is exciting. We don't really have any prizes. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
There's some pizza in the back after the show.
Awesome.
So.
I am a Ninja Turtle at heart.
Oh, well, there you go. So, anyway, actually, you go to a lot of conventions too, right?
Yes.
Yes, and you usually have a vendor table at a lot of them.
Yes. I'm primarily a knitter. I do knit various superheroes and villains, the villains being a little bit more fun. But I also create my own plush cats. And lately I've been reimagining certain characters, mostly Deadpool, but I've branched out into Nightcrawler and Harley Quinn and reimagined them as cats. But yes, I do exhibit at these conventions.
Oh, fantastic.
Cool.
Fantastic. So, anyway, yeah, actually, speaking of conventions, there's actually a few coming up. I know I probably shouldn't be reading off my phone. That's,
And we're running out of.
we got
2 minutes.
Yeah, we've got a few minutes.
Right.
So, conventions coming up. We've got, let's see, what do we got coming up? The 4th is already passed. So this weekend coming up, which would be, what, the 11th and 12th? Is that right?
11th and 12th is a
Next week.
week-
Oh, today's
yeah.
the 3rd.
Yep.
So, well, tomorrow is a book festival in the Coastal Magic Convention. There's the at Star City. There's the anime convention. There's one coming up. Which one's coming up in Boston soon? Isn't there one coming up in?
Anime Boston
Boston,
is
yeah.
coming up in, I want to say, late April. Don't have a table there. I'm kind of hoping to exhibit at Boston Comic Con later that summer. My next one is still in Massachusetts, but it's in Northampton called Conbust.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, and I've been wanting to go to conventions. I haven't been in a few years, so it's time to do it. But it looks like we're just about out of time. Thank you, Lisa, so much for coming out.
Yes,
Thank you for having me, guys.
And we'll have to go to Beef.
Thank you for the dice.
And I really need to get out to Beef Fest again out in Chicago.
Yes, you
and,
do.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
it's-
is. It's awesome. If you can stay up for the 24 hours, it's definitely worth it. And
Yeah.
yeah. So well, thanks for watching, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
We'll see you next time.
Yep.